What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. In today's video we're going to go over the 7 reasons that most resellers fail to make a full-time living. So please watch all the way to the end of the video and let me know which of these you struggle with the most. Please smash the like button, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys inside. Alright guys, so these are 7 reasons why most resellers fail. I personally think number 7 of no schedule is the top reason, but I'm going to go over these in detail and go over specifically how I would do it and when I would do it. So number 1, we're going to start with no accountability. So for me personally, I have a wife, I have a family, I have staff. There's a lot of people that rely on me for this to work, so the accountability is really high. So keeps me on track. Every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I run a mastermind group. In the call, there's probably 150 people live, but in our group, there's 2,700 people with the same goal of either reselling to make extra money or reselling as their primary form of income. So I've surrounded myself with like-minded people, wife, baby, staff. For me, that's the main reason why I do this, is a lot of people that rely on this working. So I start my day off with that 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning. So what I recommend next is shipping and customer service. The longer you wait to do this, the more it becomes a problem, because customer service starts to become really negative if customers don't get responded to quickly. I recommend you do that first thing in the morning. Literally, when you just log in, do the customer service first, because you don't want to ship out an order that a customer wanted to cancel or they wanted to combine with another order. So customer service needs to be first. I recommend doing that first thing. If you get this out of the way, essentially, in case you can't find something, you have the whole day to figure it out. But if you have a defect from not shipping an item to a customer, that's going to harm your account health. And that's really the worst thing you can do for your store, is ship late. A customer will leave you a negative review almost every time. The rest of it can be moved down the line, but not shipping, in my opinion. And inside here, this is not the top reason why people fail, but shipping would become more difficult if you don't have an inventory system. So I don't think inventory system is one of the top reasons people fail, but you need one. And I recommend a sequential system, 1 through infinity, so it's easier to find them based on date. Okay, number 3 is no sourcing plan. So I recommend half of your eBay business or reselling business is looking for things to sell. So I literally have this as the biggest chunk of the day. It's 4 hours a day of looking for items. This is either going online, finding out what local deals there are. Maybe you have a thrifting route. Maybe you go to Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's during this time to look for deals. I recommend the biggest chunk of your resale business is looking for items. I think people get into trouble when they try to squeeze a bunch of items out of only an hour lunch break, but this is based on doing it full time. If you guys want to do this part-time, or you want to do it as a hobby, you don't need to do it for 4 hours a day. But from my experience doing this full-time, half of your day should be looking for items. And instead of looking for just good items, I would pass on the good items and look for great items. Otherwise, you're going to be full of your store is going to be full of mediocre stuff. So always look for a better item. Don't just settle. Number 4 is the photography process. Now, this is based on 30 items a day. I can take 30 to 45 sets of photos in an hour, but depending on how fast you go, I recommend just doing as many as you can in a specific time. So we're going to set this at 1 hour of time. If you don't have a photo set up, you're going to be spending the majority of the hour just setting up your photos, which is going to be a big problem. You want your photo station to be set up. When you arrive there, you just photograph your items immediately, all in a row. And if you follow this instruction where you list the items immediately after, then you will remember a lot of the item details from the photograph. So for me, listing is actually a little bit faster than photography, but for most people, since they don't know all the research and they don't know all the different item specifics, and they don't know the price, and they don't know how to write a title. If you guys need help with this, we have a mentorship group at patreon.com/theresellerspodcast. And if you don't know how to write the title, you don't know the item specifics, and you don't know the price, it's going to take you 10 times as long to do that. So that's why it's important to niche down, pick something that you want to get really good at. Same with photography. If you don't have the right setup, it might take you over an hour to take a picture of it. So if you're trying to take a picture of a lawnmower, but you don't have the right setup, it could take you all day actually. So as many as you can in an hour. I've given you an hour and a half to do listing, and also this is research. And if you guys already know what the items are worth, you can skip the research part. I don't think the research part is why resellers fail. So it's not in this top 7, or it's not a top reason. So next would be no reset to zero, no prep in your process. So this is kind of an interesting concept. If you don't put everything back at the end of the day and you don't get your photo station ready, so this is like prep process for photos, and this is also grading and testing. The worst thing that you can do is put an item in your photo area that hasn't been tested, or later you find out it doesn't work, or later you find out there's a big tear in it. Then you wouldn't be able to photograph it and it wouldn't count towards your listing goal. So you have to get everything ready at the end of the day, so when you get to work the next day, you're already ready to go. And so it's sort of like paying respect to future you. I do it at the end of the day. I recommend a minimum of a half an hour. Now, if you have a death pile, or you're learning reselling, right? Then you have extra credit. You don't get to stop working at 4 if you have a problem. If you're just learning, also you got to keep working and burn the midnight oil and figure out how to do this. You would do that at the end of the day. So I would recommend this is your schedule if you're full-time. With this example, making $10 an item, you make $300 profit daily, which ends up being $37 an hour. So everything that you do in this process that takes longer makes this number go down. So for me personally, since I have staff, since I have all the processes outlined, since I don't do any research, since all the photos are the same, since I have the exact same sourcing plan, this is over $200 an hour because I've leveraged all this process into just maybe about 7 hours a week for me. So depending on how you set up this process determines your hourly rate. So now that we have these systems in place, most people don't have a schedule. If you've been reselling for a while, you kind of know how to do these here and there, but you don't have a process and you don't do it at the same time. So on this channel, I get a lot of heat because I say that most people would make more money working at Starbucks or working at a specific shop. There's like set hours that they require you to do it. So most people make more money being an employee, right? So this is sad because I was just listening to a podcast saying that 48% of people want to resell because they don't want a boss. But in reality, employees generally make more money because they have a schedule. So even me, this may sound strange, but I work for Daily Refinement Inc. I work for my own company. I have a set salary of $104,000 a year, and my goal with that is to list 52,000 items a year. So for me, I'm actually a terrible entrepreneur. I'm a much better employee. So my day is set up, and my day looks a lot like this, except for my reset to zero process is a little bit longer because there's a lot more items. We're processing more than 200 items a day. So my reset to zero process is longer. I don't do any more shipping, photographing, and listing. So essentially all I do is sourcing and reset to zero. And reset to zero is also going to include accounting, it's going to include bookkeeping, it's going to include any legal. If you have payroll to run, it's all included in this reset to zero. This part is sort of an outlier. You don't really know how long this is going to take. Everything else you kind of know. Sourcing, if you go through the same route, you go to the same stores, you call the same resources, you're going to get a similar amount of stuff every single week. This is the part that is a variable. You don't know how long it's going to take you to prep, process, clean, grade. That's why I don't recommend you learn how to upholster a mid-century modern chair, because that might take you a week to figure it out. And what happens is this gets in the way of everything else. So it's really important, guys, that you follow all 7 of these steps. If you need more help, our mastermind group is at patreon.com/theresellerspodcast. We have 10 coaches in there helping you put all these resources together. I recommend you post which one of these things you're working on. Post photos, let us know what you need help with. If you need me to build a schedule, come to my morning call and I'll make a schedule for you. Just tell me what you want out of your life and I'll try to cram it all into your day. So appreciate you guys. Until next time, make progress daily.